Hey guys, this is Issues with Toddy One Skip. I am Toddy One Skip. Welcome to the channel, and thank you so much for allowing me to be part of your day, guys. I really appreciate it. Guys, I caught Becca Scoop's video that I guess she put out Wednesday because she said that she was taking Thanksgiving off. So, but I only saw it yesterday. And there was a video before that I had watched on like 1.5 speed because there's a lot of content creators that I like, and I wish I could watch all of them. So I have to binge watch sometimes, and I have to do it at like 1.5 speed and stuff. So anyway, grateful I can understand them. That being said, this whole prescription pad, where did it come from? What's going on with it? Why was it brought up now? Why? And I do think honestly that Gypsy is giving us material so that she could keep herself relevant. That's what I think is going on here. And the thing is, are we going to play or are we not going to play? And when I say that, I don't mean that there aren't content creators that are focused here on the case, trying to make a wrong or right. What does that look like for all of us? I think it's an individual picture, right? I don't know that Gypsy can ever get thrown back in prison for unaliving her mom. I think that those days are gone. Maybe there is something. I don't know. I'm not a police officer. I don't have a clue. I don't know if there's any federal charges, maybe because things were done online, maybe because the weapon was gone through state lines, maybe there's some sort of loophole that can hold her accountable for the unaliving of her mom for the rest of her life. Because let's face it, isn't that what we want to see? We want to see her pay the price of unaliving her mom. And what we think that looks like to us is her spending as much time in prison as Nick Godejohn, right? Because she's the one that came up with it. That's why, right? That is why. That's the thing that keeps us up at night. The fact that she got away with unaliving her mom, lied about it, showed us who she is, and is like rubbing our faces in her mother's own blood while she's getting off on it. And now keeping herself relevant so that she can continue this grift. It's a legitimate grift. So Becca in her video shows where the prescription pad comes into play. And she says it's the thing that brings up that ties in the Munchausen by proxy. And you can check out her video, please do. I definitely think you should. My thing about that is, and I didn't watch the whole video, I just got to be honest with you because I watched so many of the videos, that this one just really inspired me to say something. Now we know that uh, if Gypsy was able to write her own prescriptions, it takes away the fact of her going and having uh doctors take care of her for the sole purpose of attention, which is the Munchausen by proxy definition, right? So that's one thing about the prescription pad that I want to bring up. And why it's brought up again, I think, is a distraction. And yeah, so Becca's saying this is to remind us that this is Munchausen by proxy, guys. That's what it's to remind us. But let's check this out. And I mean, we all know that Becca Scoops knows there was no Munchausen by proxy. She knows better than I do. She knows better than most of us. Let's be real. So, okay, let's check this out.
Did catch our attention was the one thing in the house that was absolutely immaculate, and that was the medicine closet.
Okay, so Becca interrupted here and said that wasn't true. And on her video, she's going to show you that. But I say, even if it was true, there was a lock on that. There was a lock on that medicine cabinet. So all that goes to show and say to me is that Gypsy is a slob, which I've called her a slob since the minute she got out of prison, right? And we watched how careless she was with her belongings, Ryan's belongings, and everything. And I still stand by that. So I think that the medicine cabinet was nice and neat because Dee Dee was the only one that could access it. That would be my thing. Anyway, and we also know what was in the medicine cabinet. Becca Scoops goes over that. Other content creators have gone over that. It's most of the over-the-counter stuff. There was no pain medicine found in there. There was a steroid. There was a couple antibiotics. There was some breathing. What are they called? You know what I'm talking about. Inhalers. So let's continue on. And I am not going to at all say that Christy I'm not going to at all say that Christy came up with this. I don't believe at all that Christy came up with this. I believe that Mike came up with it and had Christy kind of work with it. Exactly. That's what I think happened. That's my opinion.
There's breathing machines, there's gloves, there's,
Of course, that's Christy.
all
Okay.
of this medication, all in rows.
The other guy was Mike.
We found a prescription pad that was stolen from the hospital.
Now, do you see they're tying in the prescription pad? They're tying in the prescription pad with the medicine closet.
Yes. And Becca raises her eyes. I see that. Would you think, Becca, that it was so that this could come out a year later or 2 years later?
So just follow me here with what is going to happen.
That meant that now not only is she using medical means to abuse Gypsy, but now she can do it on her own. She doesn't even need a doctor.
You just heard her own attorney say something that ludicrous.
Slanderous. That was terrible. And if I was Dee Dee and I was alive, I would sue. Absolutely horrific. But you know what makes it worse than ludicrous? And I'm sure that everybody's on the same page. Becca might speak about this later in the video. It's dangerous because Becca knows better, because Becca's a nurse. Becca's not your average person that would look at this case where somebody like me who has no medical experience, you put everything together, I'm going to see it the way you probably want me to see it without knowing any better. Becca Scoops knows better because of her history as a nurse. So she's able to say, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense at all. But to the average person out here, they're building Gypsy's case for her, for us to believe, so that she could get this deal. And when she gets out, she could be loved by many. And it would have worked if Gypsy didn't mess it up on her own.
There's no way for her to use it for anything. To do what to Gypsy?
She's going to throw it at her, Becca. Dee Dee was going to throw it at her, get a 5-lash paper cut.
To do what?
Throw it at her. Paper cuts. Flying. Frisbees. Flying saucer. Prescription pad. Take out an eye. So now we have Bree. We have Dr. Bree. Bree with the doctor facts. And she's going over the prescription pad and her theory of why. But see, it's not a theory because the way it's presented by Bree, it is presented as a fact or as facts, and they're not. These are opinions. These are theories. Excuse me. And even if Gypsy told you, come on, man, you really have to be so ignorant and so just weak to not see that Gypsy lies. You could be her best friend, but your best friend's a liar. That's what she is, man.
You couldn't think of the words, but I was thinking that.
Oh, and there she is. There's Biggin, guys. There's Biggin.
I bet that's what she's thinking in my head because.
Yeah, and I
can
literally
see
wrote that too. Watch. I put medical props equals power.
So here's Bree playing doctor. Bree, you got that app? Put that in your app, Bree. Medical props equals power. What does the app say when you put that in the app?
For DD. Dee Dee collected medical papers, and
Get back up.
Now Dee's diagnosing. She's like a psychologist.
Well, she's trying. She's really trying, my friend Becca Scoops.
all things medical, like a person collects souvenirs.
So I guess what Bree's trying to say is that Dee Dee collected, the prescription pad and medical bracelets and stuff because she was into collecting that stuff. And, she's saying that it made Dee Dee feel more powerful and give her more authority and give her a sense of, what's the word am I looking for? Give her a sense of like she could go one-on-one with a nurse or a doctor, and Becca blows that out of the water. You can check that out on the video. I just wanted to bring this stuff to your attention just to simply show you, very simple, how it could go from a regular MURDER, okay, into and somebody that came up with the idea, mastermind the whole idea, sent the instructional video and everything, right? And how her lawyer and her stepmom can come up with this. Because I'm sure it was the lawyer's idea, but it was the stepmom that helped it go along, right? Lawyers, shyster, man, you're not a good guy. You're not a good guy. And Gypsy was given a script, and she went by that script, and that's how she was able to say certain things. But the thing is, the actions are different. See, Gypsy doesn't even care enough to keep the facts straight. She's not really responsible for any of this. She's responsible for unaliving her mom, and everybody else is responsible for everything else. Her getting out early, her being part of this community and society, her having the baby here, and her whole behavior. Everybody has enabled her to do that. All why? Why? And she didn't even have enough respect to any of you or for any of you to keep the story straight. Think about that. Think about that. All right, guys. This is Issues with Toddy One Skip. I am Toddy One Skip. It's dangerous when this stuff gets out there because to mainstream media and the regular folk, the lawyer, Mike Stanfield, and his wonkadoodle story that worked out so well is what everybody believes. And those people that aren't on social media and seeing this stupid behavior and just walking around oblivious don't know. And maybe they could be her neighbor. Maybe they could be somebody she bumps into. Who knows? But that's what's going on. And that's the danger in this. So it's not just ludicrous that Dee Dee couldn't do anything with the prescription pad. And who's to say that actually Dee Dee took the prescription pad? Maybe somebody gave it to Gypsy so she could write on it. Maybe it was old or something. Who knows? Maybe Gypsy took it. Who knows? Who knows? But I mean, seriously, what she could do with it is throw it at her. It's just so silly. But to people that wouldn't see the breakdown and understand what's going on, you put that all together, and Dee Dee looks like the monster that they've portrayed her as. But that's not the truth. So, all right, guys, be better today than you were yesterday. Not half as good as you'll be tomorrow. Take care, guys, and thank you.
Welcome to the Moose Knuckle Lounge, where the drinks are cheap, the music's loud, and the knuckles always tight. Now here at the Moose Knuckle, we've got homebrew straight out of Jamina Babina's bathtub, a pool table that ain't been level since 1992, and wings so greasy you think you got Lil Bree's hair in your mouth.
Jimmy Bobby, that ain't nice.
Well, hell now, it's still cleaner than Gypsy Rose's house. Come on down and slide into the busiest moose knuckle in town. The Moose Knuckle Lounge, where we stay tight all night.